One take, one shot. This is the review series where I do it immediately following the previous episode of whatever was just on SmackDown in this instance. So you get my raw, visceral reaction. And this was a 3-hour Raw. I had I was dreading it. I thought they might go and put out like all the stops for this episode, but I also thought 3 hours was just going to drag and drag and drag. And I'll tell you what, honestly, it was a decently paced show. I think they could have cut a match or two, maybe a couple minutes here and there, but honestly, they do that for the 2-hour episodes too. I think the matches just go a little too long for regular TV, but that said, overall, this was a well-paced show, especially for 3 hours. So I gotta give credit where credit is due. I can't just always crash out on Triple H. So good job, Triple H, and making the show fairly interesting. I did yawn 9 times though. So man, I still am not a proponent of 3 hours, but tonight was not bad. I've seen worse. That is the state. That is actually a compliment in today's WWE culture. I've seen worse. Anyways, what was good about tonight? The best part of tonight was Drew McIntyre. Surprise, surprise. Drew McIntyre, Cody comes out, and I have been liking Cody lately, but tonight, he was a little all over the place. He didn't really make a lot of sense. At one point, he's kind of bragging on how he is the first one in, and he shows up so people can see him with the belt. And I get what he was trying to do. He was trying to say that the belt is more than just, it doesn't mean just being checks and championships, right? It's about being the guy, the locker room leader. But he came across very very Homelander, to tell you the truth. If you don't know who Homelander is, he's an evil Superman that pretends to be a good Superman. And that's kind of how Cody was coming across. Thankfully, Drew interrupted and was like, "Hey, Cody, I was in your van. I was in your van earlier, or your tour bus," and he's like, and I got a picture. He has a picture of Cody and his dad, Dusty Rhodes. Last week, he told Cody that Dusty is in hell. Say hello. And so Cody runs after him. Cody needs to get rid of the loafers because he runs really weird in his loafers because those are very slippery. So he runs in the back. There's 800 people that are trying to hold him back, but Drew now has made it to the ring, and he has a trash can. And so now Cody, he turns around and he starts running to the ring. And Drew is laughing the whole time, sets the picture on fire while 100 guys are holding Cody, and Nick Aldis is just like, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" And Drew is on the ropes in Cody's face laughing. So that was a really cool segment. I love that. I have not really seen many segments where you burn a picture of the guy and his deceased father. So that was kind of new. And it's you don't see a lot of new stuff when you've been watching wrestling for 36 or 37 years. So I appreciate it. Drew McIntyre doing a great job, and Cody, I've seen worse from Cody. So, the 3 stages of hell, they announced it. It's going to be a regular match, a Falls Count Anywhere match, and then a steel cage match. That's really lame. I think they're doing a steel cage match so Jacob Fatu can come interfere and do his moonsault off the steel cage. That's the 3, if you could pick 3 lamer stipulations for a 3 stages of hell match, I don't know. I would be surprised. Why not have 1 ladder match, 1 tables match, a first blood match, last man standing match? There's so many things. It's just this was they phoned it in, but please, give it to Drew, even if we're going to let Drew just lose it back at the Royal Rumble. I don't give a crap. I just want Drew to win the title here. Hopefully, Jacob Fatu attacks Cody and not Drew, and we have Jacob Fatu thinking it was Cody that attacked him. I don't know. Hopefully, a boy can dream, can't he? And then the other big thing was the main event. That was 6 months. This is crazy. I'm not sure if I have steak in between my teeth. I went and just gnawed on some steak real quick between the show and and this hot take. So if I got some steak in between my teeth, don't look. Probably you wouldn't have noticed if I wouldn't have said nothing. But I don't think I do, but I might. The main event. So Damian Priest versus Aleister Black. They said this is a 6-month feud. You know what's crazy about this 6-month feud? They've only had 3 matches. Can you imagine 3 matches? It's long, drawn out 6-month feud. That's half a year. Holy crap, for half a year, they've been going at it, but they've only had 3 matches, not one on PLE. Okay, that's not long-term booking. That's long, drawn-out booking. Anyways, they have their match, and I don't know what it was about this match. It's just, it really did not captivate me. It was really not that interesting, but they did have some good spots. There was one time where there's this, like, crate, and it looked like we were going to do a razor's edge on the crate, but Damian Priest turns and throws Aleister Black basically through the window of the ambulance, because it's an ambulance match, but not right through it, but he cracks it. So that was a cool segment. But the weird thing was, there was a moment where Damian Priest actually sets Aleister Black on his face on fire, and that's a callback to one of their matches earlier in this feud, like 6 months ago. But the thing was, the match didn't end after that. It just continued on like that. It was like a headlock. The fireball was like a headlock. There was a cool moment where Zelina Vega opened the ambulance doors and Rhea Ripley popped out, and I did appreciate that because Rhea Ripley was in the building and she's actually took part of this feud. Now, the only thing I don't agree with is that so it would have been better if Aleister Black and Zelina Vega had beaten Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley in their first encounter, in the last encounter. But in here, Rhea won that match, and then Rhea got the better, and Damian got the better here. So, like, it would have meant more as, like, comeuppance if Rhea would have lost the first time they had the match a couple months ago, if you catch my drift. If not, it's fine, whatever. It was like, but I did appreciate Rhea coming out. I know it's cool to hate Rhea right now, and I'm not even a huge Rhea fan, but it made a lot of sense storyline-wise for her to jump out like that. So she jumps out and gets them away, and then eventually, on top of the ambulance, Damian Priest will throw Aleister Black through like this contraption or something, and then he will win the match. Damian Priest wins the match after 6 months. And they did have Aleister Black say early in the night in a pre-taped vignette, it's not about wins. He doesn't even care about wins. It's about changing Damian Priest. So that's the out. Aleister Black doesn't care about the win. Problem is, Damian Priest hasn't changed at all. I don't see any change in Damian Priest at all. So, like, I don't know. When Karrion Kross was changing people, he got the New Day to turn on Big E. You know, that was a big freaking deal. He got the Miz to turn on R-Truth. But, like, what Black didn't get Damian Priest to do anything different. I don't know. So hopefully it's just over, done with, and they just go their separate ways, because this was 6 months of just long drawn out. Even the match tonight, if this match would have went 15 minutes, 12 minutes instead of 25 minutes, it probably would have been an all-time classic, but they just drew it out. It matched the feud itself. It was just drawn out. Great spots, but too far in between because we had to fill 3 hours. So regardless, let's back up to the beginning. In the beginning, we have The Miz. The Miz comes out, and The Miz cut a decent promo. I've seen him do better. He cuts a decent promo on how Cena's gone. He had some grievances. Don't say little balls and all these things. And then we get Randy Orton, RKO, out of nowhere, comes out. His music hits. And at that point, I scratch my head, and I'm like, why haven't we seen Randy Orton in months? It's like, suddenly, you don't even need to be written off TV like you got injured or something. You can just win your match and leave. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, they win their matches. AJ Lee, they win their matches in War Games, and then they're just off TV. Randy Orton won his match against Jelly Roll, and then he's off TV. And if he came back, I do not remember if Randy's been back since Jelly Roll, but even if he has, what did he do? Why was he gone? Like, we just live in this day and age where it's okay, and then the wrestling fans will like, they'll say something like this: oh, well, it just means it's more special when they come. That just blows my mind. You know what was special? When I saw Stone Cold Steve Austin 3 times in one night, and then the next week I saw him 4 times, and then the next week I saw him 5 times. You know, I come from a day and age, I know I'm yelling at a cloud, where it was special when we saw our champions all the time, not like going 3 months without them. And when I say champions, I mean our fan favorites. It's just so odd that Randy Orton was just gone for no reason whatsoever. And then he just comes back, no reason whatsoever. He gives Miz two RKOs, like, oh, okay. Hopefully the Miz can get something out of this. What else? And then we had a 8-women match where it's you have the Kabuki Warriors and Nia and the Bougie Bully Lash Legend versus Charlotte, Alexa, and the Kabuki Warriors, Io and Rhea. Io and Rhea are back to hugging, so I guess they're friends still. I think what happened? I think eventually Io just pinned Kairi, probably. Kairi? I can't honestly remember. The match it started at 7:19 and it ended at 7:41. Okay, so that happened. That happened. I think there was one spot where Lash kicked the crap out of Io. I wish they would have let her win that right there. But so there you go. The Kabuki Warriors once again looking weak as they go to challenge on Raw. Jordan Grace was around. She had a cool segment with Chelsea Green, and then she leaves. She'll later have a segment with Jade Cargill. Again, we don't do nothing with Jade Cargill other than have her talk, and it's like, everyone's going to be like, told you Jade couldn't carry the belt. Well, she can't carry the belt if we don't give her matches. I will say this, though. They did go to Jade. Jade and Meacham had a match, I guess, on a house show, and Meacham got injured. And so I think it was Kathy Kelly or Jackie Redmond's like, did you mean to injure Meacham? And Jade is like, yeah. I thought that was hilarious. Usually it's like, no, she just couldn't, she was weak, she couldn't handle, but Jade was like, yeah, I meant to injure her because, I am that B word. So that was cool. The Wyatt's kind of promo. It was a vignette. We didn't have Uncle Howdy's mask. It was like Bo Dallas. And basically all he said was, you've been trying to find a family since you left the bloodline, and I'm going to chop down your family tree at the roots. That was the promo. Wyatt 6, I think the experiment might be over soon unless we start letting them do some crazy stuff, because that's not what they're doing now. Is not cutting it. Kit Wilson came out to the funniest I don't know, his back, his entrance. He has new music, a new entrance. It's really animated. A lot of people are going to hate it. I even had some people in my chat was like, what the crap is this? I almost turned off TV. So this guy's about to get some monster heat. I love that. I thought that was cool. Because it's it is so obnoxious and so just cringe that it, to me, it gets to that cringe point where you hate it, but then it just keeps going, and then it gets to that cringe point where I start to enjoy it because it's funny. And he fought Matt Cardona being former Zack Ryder. Woo, 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 but Matt Cardona is here to stay, and I'm really happy that Matt Cardona's here because Matt Cardona is a good, mid-card guy who can get believable wins, and he can get losses to bigger guys on their way up. People like Trick William, Oba Femi, there'll be Aleister Black. They can beat Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, and Matt doesn't lose anything, but it still feels like kind of a big deal. So that's really cool. He does beat Kit Wilson, and then we will also have Mello and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn comes out. I know it's cool to hate Sami Zayn. I really do. We all hate Sami Zayn. But Sami Zayn cut a really good promo, I thought. And it was about his kid. How his kid asked him, why haven't you ever won a championship? The World Heavyweight Championship. And that made Sami like, you know what? I gotta win a championship. And that's a good promo to enter the Royal Rumble. So he can then go win a championship. Like, I get it. You know, I don't like Super Sammy, but at the end of the day, if we judge it based on just what we saw, this was a good babyface promo about why he needs to enter the Royal Rumble and win a championship. I don't want him to win the Royal Rumble, but I do like this story that could be told through entering the Royal Rumble. And then the best part came. Trick Williams came out. Trick Williams, man, I'm telling you, he looks like $1 million. He was seriously giving me some The Rock vibes. I was really feeling it. I was really feeling his character, and oh my gosh, he just laid into Sammy about how he's the next thing. I just like, please go watch the Trick Williams Sammy segment. The only problem I had with it, eventually Sammy gets his the final word, and I think that Trick should have just attacked him. Trick should have let anyone speak to him that way. Period. Later, Trick will kind of interrupt Rey Fenix, and he's like, you see how Sammy talked to me? And that sets up a match between those. And Trick had a really funny line. He's like, I'm twice your size to Rey Fenix. Just, God, I kind of hope Obafemi goes to Raw because I want to shoot Trick Williams up that roster, and I want to shoot Obafemi up the roster. Give Trick SmackDown, give Oba Raw. Yes, I would. Yeah, I said it. I said what I said, and I'll say it again. Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov, they had a little, Ilya was like, I wanted the best. I got the best. I didn't want to lose, but I got the best. You going to continue the U.S. challenge? And Carmelo Hayes said yes. I wish Carmelo Hayes wasn't continuing it, but I do understand he's a babyface. It wouldn't be a babyface thing to do. I don't know. I wish it was not being continued. That said, banger match between him and Johnny Gargano. But before that, he does go to Miz and says, Miz, thank you. And Miz was like, what, you're thanking me? He's like, yeah, thank you for not being with me anymore, because that was the best thing to ever happen. That was funny. Hopefully Miz and Carmelo can have an actual Saturday night main event or at the very least Saturday main event or a Royal Rumble match. I would like that. Then he goes and has a match with Johnny Gargano. Good match. I like how Carmelo holds the belt. And I don't know what it was with I'm sure Ilya Dragunov really loved the belt, but it feels like Carmelo, and the belt, it does look I like how he looks at the belt. If that makes sense. Feels like really a big deal to Carmelo. Tama Tonga and Shinsuke Nakamura had a moment. Tama Tonga, if you didn't know, was from New Japan, and so was Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura was like a Stone Cold Steve Austin of New Japan, and Tama Tonga was he was part of their NWO, so they have a history together in Japan, and they talk to each other in Japan. So I don't know what's going on there, but Tama Tonga seems to be a part of 3 storylines that are going nowhere. With the Wyatts, with the U.S. Championship, and now with Shinsuke, but we shall see. And I think that's it. Oh, Julia and Chelsea Green. We already talked. Yeah, let's talk Julia Chelsea Green, because that's about it. That's left to do. Chelsea Green had a really cool segment when she was like, I don't want to fight tonight. Did you not know that Stranger Things just happened? I'm in an emotional state. And Nick was like, I'll strip you off the title. He's like, no, I just can't believe it. And he's like, you need to be a fighting champion. She's like, I am fighting for my life on social media. That was hilarious. Chelsea Green will lose the title. They did protect her. At one point, she beat Julia, but Kiana James was on the ring, and it was 1, 2, 3. So she got the visual win. The fans were cheering Chelsea, but at the end of the day, she lost the championship. I don't mind her losing the championship, but I just don't understand why she lost the championship. It did nothing to help Julia. If we're not going to have any plans for Julia or Damian Priest even later, if we don't have plans for these people when they win their feud, then don't let them win their feud. Chelsea Green can carry the U.S. title with or without a feud. But we know Julia can't. So please have something ready for Julia. Otherwise, they should have kept it on Chelsea Green. I'm okay with Julia. I love Julia, but they've demonstrated they don't do a good job with her. So I'm hoping that changes. I'm hoping that changes here, but Chelsea Green lost the belt. Chelsea will be okay. Like, Chelsea knows how to eat a loss and just, like, blink it off. It's like, it don't matter for Chelsea Green. She's that good. But, yeah, that's your SmackDown. I'll give it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7's pretty high for a 3-hour show. If it would have ended at the normal time, it would have been a great SmackDown, honestly. I probably would have given it an 8 or a 9 if we would have ended with Drew just burning the picture, but then it went another hour. That other hour did drag it down a little bit, even though it was like a decent hardcore match that took too long, an ambulance match. But yeah, 7's still pretty high for a 3-hour show. Like, I'm not lying. So, anyways, there you go, boys, girls. That's your review, one take, one shot review. Please have yourself a happy New Year. See you for Raw, and we'll see if Braun Breaker can beat CM Punk. What do you think in the comments? Tell me. See you. Bye.